Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts on the new AMC Not Afraid Walking Dead Season 4 second half trailer and going over a few new pictures. Alright, awesome. So let's kick things off with a few pictures we have that have been released just recently. My favorite out of the three is this one right here, which we can see Michonne has rounded up herself a couple new pet walkers. So same strategy she used in, wow, what was that? Was that season 3, beginning of season 3, and then of course she kills the two pets that she had before, which she actually knew, and now she's going to be replacing them, I suppose, with a couple new pets to carry her stuff and follow her around, and I suppose help with covering up her smell, although she doesn't have her shroud type thing that she had before. But it looks like it's pretty hot out there, so maybe she just doesn't want to wear anything yet to mask her smell. She's not too worried about it, but still kind of cool to get to see that she is going to be picking up a couple new pets. And next we have another picture of Michonne, who is in a pretty badass samurai type pose here. We can see this is also shown in the Not Afraid trailer, as well as some of the other clips that AMC has released with the trailers, where she's just killing all these walkers and there's just bodies everywhere. One of the coolest things I think about what we've seen so far in the trailers is the amount of zombies that we're seeing are in and around that are, going to be killed off by our characters. Michonne here is surrounded by bodies of walkers. I love it. Makes me think of the song "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor," Drowning Pool, right? And hey, it's a good song. I should listen to that later. And also, you've got Daryl in the Not Afraid trailer too, who's running through a graveyard, and he's killing a bunch of walkers too. It just looks like it's going to be all kinds of walker killing mayhem fun. So I'm really excited to see. I'll never get tired of seeing Daryl, smash walkers with golf clubs or whatever the hell else he can find, and Michonne, of course, using her trusty katana to just mow them down. Awesome stuff. And finally, with the last new picture we have of course Carl, Chandler Riggs playing Carl, obviously with the patented cowboy hat, gotta have that. And behind, as you can see, just like straight out of the comic books, once they find a place to stay, a house, they've got, let's see, the couch in front of the door, and Rick is just passed right out from exhaustion due to what's happened, the fight with the governor, being shot, and everything else that happened in Too Far Gone, losing Herschel, seemingly losing Judith. We'll see what happens with that. He is just a wreck and is passed out, while Carl is sort of just left to sit there and fend for himself for a little while until Rick eventually wakes up from his long slumber. I guess we'll see if they do the same thing that they did in the comic book series and the TV show. If they do, which it looks like they're going to, Rick might be out for a few days, and Carl will have to take care of him, so to speak, and take care of himself too. So excited to see that. We'll probably see that right away and after, I'm thinking. And this picture just further confirms that it's going to be very heavily influenced or based on the comic book series. Looks like almost a direct adaptation, which nowadays we hardly see in The Walking Dead. Alright, awesome. And as we get even more and more content, I'll go ahead and do, daily videos updating you guys if you miss anything, you haven't checked any sites, or just to give my thoughts on, the latest content that's released. So there's a few pictures. There's some more out there, but most of the other ones I've seen are basically the same as what we see in the trailer. So those ones are pretty cool. That said, the Not Afraid promo, we've got essentially the title coming from Daryl, who says he's not afraid of nothing in this trailer, as we see him running through a graveyard. He's smashing a walker with his crossbow. He's like kind of using the crossbow and batting it with it, which is pretty fun to see. And then, of course, in the other trailer, there was him smashing one with a golf club, which I'm really excited to see that actually play out, not just see the quick clip of it, but the whole thing, because that looks like a fun walker kill. guaranteed. So the Not Afraid promo, I'll put the link in the description for you guys to click and go ahead and check out. It's about 30 seconds long. It's a pretty decent trailer. And basically, I'll go over each of the things that it has in it right now with you and give my thoughts on it. You have Rick, and he's walking with Carl. He says, I only clung to that for you. And I think he's referring to, I don't know, maybe something to do with the prison, something to do with that kind of life, or I don't know, maybe they're talking about Judith. I don't know. I really don't know. So that'll be cool to see exactly what that conversation is about and what they're talking about. And then he says, which we've heard him say before, we'll never get things back to the way they used to be. So that's not exactly new. We have seen that in other trailers. Then going on from there, the Daryl stuff I just mentioned. Then we have Lizzie and Mika who are running on the train tracks, which are just outside the prison, I believe. And we see Rick and Carl, they're walking down the same tracks in the poster. If you guys remember that one that they released for episode 9. So they'll be in the same relative location, relatively close. Obviously, they're all at the prison, so they should all be within some kind of close range, maybe a mile, 2 miles maximum. Are they headed in the same direction as Rick and Carl, or are they headed in the other direction of the train tracks? I guess we'll have to see. And whether or not they're with Tyrese. It seems like they're with Tyrese because they show in the trailer right after Tyrese, who's smashing some zombie skulls with his trusty hammer, which is always fun to see. And of course, he did chase after them at the end of Too Far Gone, if you guys remember. Hey, we go that way, that type of thing. So I assume they're with him, but we never really see in the trailer, any of the trailers, all 3 of them together. Is that because one of them's holding the baby? Could be. But I did notice that we never see them all together at once, right? So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that does mean Judah's still alive. I guess we'll see what happens. Going on from there, we have Michonne, who, again, with the picture I showed earlier, just letting the bodies hit the floor. And then we've got a new one of Maggie in quite a bit of trouble, it looks like, as she's basically full mounted, pinned down by a zombie. That's called a full mount. Anyone who's into mixed martial arts and fighting knows full mount is when you have someone on their back and you're on top of them. Zombie's on top of her and she's doing one of these to push its head back. She should still be with Bob and Sasha, I would think, right? She was with them at the end of Too Far Gone, but she may have gone off in her own direction to find Glenn, saying, hey, we got to go back, we got to find Glenn. And then Bob and Sasha being like, F that noise, we're not going back. So she may have gone off on her own. So that looks really exciting to see what happens with that. If she gets bitten, or maybe she commits suicide, or if she does survive. Really excited to see what happens with Maggie the rest of the season. So that's a really cool new one that we haven't seen before. And then in addition to that, we've got Beth, who looks like she's sitting in a tree fork. She's probably not, but it looks like it. And she's talking to somebody. I mean, I would think she's talking to Daryl. And she basically says, as best as I can tell, you got to stay who you are, not who you were. I believe that's what she says. It's hard to hear, though. At first, I thought she said, you got to save me more. And I'm like, what? Doesn't make sense. So I think that's right. You got to stay who you are, not who you were. So I think she's talking to Daryl, talking about who he is now versus who he was as a person before the apocalypse or something of the sort. It looks like we're going to be getting a lot of good development as the characters reflect on their time at the prison and where they're going to go from here. So good stuff there. Something burning in the background behind her. Not exactly sure what that is. Some people have said they think that's the farm, or something like that. I guess we'll see. That should be interesting to see where Daryl and Beth do go. Okay, let's see what else we got. So that's those, and there's also a bunch of zombies coming out of what looks like a bus at 19 seconds. So is that the prison bus? Is that a different vehicle or something? Could be totally different random vehicle for any of the characters that are out in the environment, them coming out to chase after them. Or it could be the same bus that a lot of the people from the prison went on, that Glenn was a part of. If maybe some of them died and turned, started to bite each other, and then them coming out after Glenn or somebody. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with that. Could be. And let's see. I think that's about all I really have to say for the new Not Afraid trailer. It's another cool little trailer. I really like that AMC's putting out a lot of information, and couldn't be more excited for the season. Everyone I see just gets me pumped, man. I just can't wait. I'm kind of at that point. I get to this point every time. It's like a couple weeks before, a week before. It's like, oh, I just so buzzing. Can't wait to see the start of the season. And well, not start of the season, but start of the second half of the season. But it is like we're starting a new season because the Too Far Gone was the end of the Governor's story arc. It was more of a finale than the season 3 finale was. So I'm really excited to see the start of a lot of new things in the Walking Dead television series, to see who survives and to see how all the characters meet up, or whether or not the show is going to split off and have a couple different groups in different locations going forward, which I think would be interesting to see if they do go that route. It doesn't sound like they will, but it's possible. Anyway, I'll call it here. That's it for this. Or well, actually, let me know what you guys thought about the trailer, the Not Afraid trailer. And if you saw my video yesterday talking about the titles and descriptions, let me know what you thought about those. If you missed it, it's a pretty good one because we get to hear all of the new titles, names of the rest of the episodes for the season, and the description. So if you missed it, check the channel. So yes, posted yesterday. Definitely going to want to check that one out. And I got some more ideas. If you guys have any more topics for me, I have a few more. But if you have any in particular, any discussion topics or anything, please feel free to send them to me. Anyway, now I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.